and welcome to Logan Sounds Off, where I talk about books, music, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Logan Kelly. Hello and welcome back to another Logan Sounds Off album review. Today I am reviewing Led Zeppelin's killer album, Led Zeppelin 3. Now before I actually say the band members, may I ask something that you can say on social media to me. Do you say Volume 3 or just Led Zeppelin 3? Tell me your opinion, because I say 3 and I don't know if I'm right or am I wrong, because I am not the biggest Led Zeppelin fan, but I still love their music. Now, to the band members. Robert Plant, who sang brilliant vocals. John Bonham, who played cracking drums. Jimmy Page, who played great guitar. And John Paul Jones, who played brilliant bass. So, I'm actually going to start off with the first song. Usually I might skip a couple of songs during this album review, but this album is just too good. Starting off the album is Immigrant Song. This is a very good song. Lots of people will agree with me. And it's also quite iconic. When I think about Led Zeppelin as the big picture, I think of Immigrant Song. I think of Since I've Been Loving You, which is also on this album. I think about Kashmir. I think about When the Levee Breaks. And when I first got this album, I went, oh God, this has Immigrant Song. Yes. I'm so doing an album review on this. That's what I want from a song. And it's also something that I've said on other albums, but this definitely is a brilliant start to the album. If I think me in 1970 and I popped into a record shop and I saw the new Led Zeppelin album, I would go, wow, I must get this. I'll listen to it, see how it is. When I put the needle down, I expect it to be amazing. And Immigrant Song just said, the rest of this album is good too. Keep listening, keep listening. And it was so good in that way. And that really, it was so powerful, this song. And it stands out a lot in the album. When you're looking through the track list, you go, Immigrant Song, yes. And immediately you know it's going to be a good album. And that is something that you do not get with a lot of songs. And it's something definitely that Led Zeppelin should be very proud of. The next song is Friends. I love this song so much. I was quite surprised that I was going to like it as much as I do now, because originally I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Now, something that I did notice throughout it is that it was quite negative. It wasn't the lyrics, it just felt kind of dreary, kind of negative, kind of going around a bit dreary, you know? And that was pretty cool, to be honest. I don't know, though, what makes it negative. I know, it's atrocious. I should know what makes it so negative. But it might be minor chords, it might be something else. But it's just kind of sad and dreary and negative. And that's what I like about this song. It's mysterious. It keeps you questioning. You keep wondering, if you were to see an official music video for this, for instance, Vivo or something, did a video of this, you'd be kind of going, okay, I have expectations for this song. And I wonder what the actual video is going to be of it. And then you see it and you go, wow, I never knew that song was about this or this. For instance, a good example of this would be Smashing Pumpkins, Today. That may sound like a very positive song. Behind it, it's about Billy Corgan's depression. I find these kind of songs are very similar in the way that they're all kind of about, they've all got a meaning. And I really like that about a song. It's quite important to have a meaning behind a song. People may not know this, but all Stiff Little Fingers songs have a meaning to do with politics. And then all of the AC/DC songs, they'd have meanings. A good amount of Led Zeppelin songs, they would have meanings. So that's what I very much like about this song. You probably have guessed I like this song lots more than any of the others, because I've been talking for like 2 minutes now about it. So the next song, actually, I've got a very interesting fact for you about this. So this song is called Celebration Day, and this song actually has its own album. So for those who do not know much about Led Zeppelin, you will know there's obviously Led Zeppelin 1, 2 and 3. They're iconic. But there's also Mothership and Celebration Day, which are quite similar in their illustrations. They've got lovely illustrations on the front and everything, and very bright colours. It very much stands out, the album cover. It's quite like Led Zeppelin 3, and I've got some interesting facts for you about that later when I'm talking about my other thoughts about this album. It is a very, very cool album cover, and I really can't wait to listen to it. If you've listened to it, please tell me your thoughts, because I haven't actually listened to it yet, but I can't wait. So please let me know, what is Celebration Day like? Now, the next song everybody loves. It's on Mothership. I actually haven't said that yet. Since I've Been Loving You. It is a brilliant song. It's the 4th song on Led Zeppelin 3, and it's, I think, on the first CD of Mothership. Yeah, it's the 9th song, and it's such a killer song. It's one of their most iconic songs, again, with Immigrant Song and Friends. When I think about Led Zeppelin, I think about Immigrant Song, Since I've Been Loving You, Good Times, Bad Times, Dazed and Confused, Whole Lot of Love, Stairway to Heaven. All those kind of songs come into my head, and that's something to be proud of. And a lot of bands have achieved that with me, and a lot of them haven't. So I was very, very, very impressed with this song, although it is quite long. So people may be going, nah, it's not long at all, it's fine. No, I think it's quite long, to be honest. Now, that's just me. I get bored very easily by songs. So after like the first 6 minutes, I'm just gone. Although I could go forever with songs like Kashmir and When the Levee Breaks. Actually, they're the only two songs ever that I would listen to for 20 minutes straight. The only 2 songs. I would never listen to any other songs or bands for 20 minutes straight like that song. So that's something very much to be proud of, Led Zeppelin. And then one little thing about Since I've Been Loving You, it doesn't actually ruin the song, how long it is. And that's very impressive as well. So the last song on side A is Out on the Tiles. So I've said this before in past album reviews that some songs on an album, they are good, they're like really good, but they don't stand out. And when I think about Led Zeppelin 3, Out on the Tiles wouldn't be the first song that comes into my head. So it's a brilliant song, but I wish it was more, I wish it could stand out as much as Friends and Since I've Been Loving You and Immigrant Song and Celebration Day, the first 4 songs on this side. But other than that, this is a brilliant finished side A, and I was very impressed with this song. Moving on to side B now is Gallows Pole. So this is very good acoustic guitars and very good drumming. So if you are into the guitars, Jimmy Page is your man. If you're into the drumming, John Bonham's your man. I know my uncle, Graham Hopkins, I done an interview with him actually, and one of his idols is John Bonham. And that is, there are so many reasons why he should be everybody's idol, because he is one of the best drummers I have ever heard in my life. He is amazing. And the thing is, during the songs, he's brilliant. Alright? That's fine. And I really like that he's brilliant and everything. But he can definitely do better. Not on the album, I mean, for people who don't know John Bonham, he can do so much more than just that. That album touches on just a little bit of his drumming skills. He is like a drum god on the drums, which is so cool. And it's class to see him play at concerts. And when you see Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, John Bonham, and Robert Plant rocking it out on stage, you're just going, dream team. Because they are the dream team. For the 1970s, Jimmy Page could play the guitars like nobody else. John Paul Jones had brilliant bass skills. Robert Plant had a voice like nobody else, but not as like a powerful, strong voice. He had a cool, relaxed voice. John Bonham had drumming skills that nobody in that year had touched off yet. They together, Led Zeppelin, were an iconic band. And I think that's why people love Led Zeppelin so much, because that combination of musicians just brings the whole album together. And that is very interesting to see. You've then got Tangerine. This is definitely a favourite. This is like Friends. It's a song I never knew and I loved it. I never even heard of it. Again, love the acoustic guitar, the drumming, and funny enough, the lyrics. I actually really like the lyrics. I am not sure who wrote that song. I presume it's Robert Plant or one of the band members. Or maybe it's a cover, I don't know. All I know is that I love that album. I mean, that song so much. It is definitely a favourite, and I have so much time. Again, I wouldn't listen to it for 20 minutes, but I listened to it for so long. It's not repetitive. It's nearly like a story to me. And that is quite similar to the next song, That's the Way. So this has a very nice kind of rhythm, and it has very strong vocals. I did say Robert Plant, he's famous for his cool kind of vocals, but he can be have strong vocals too. And the rhythm in this was amazing. I just really loved the beat and rhythm throughout this whole album. It really stood out to me, and I really quite enjoyed that. And again, it's another story. This, if it was a book, would be a collection of stories. And I wouldn't mind, it would be a brilliant novel. And I would read it over and over again. And that is something that I rarely do. I usually read a book once and put it down. With this and some albums even, I listen to it once and I go, wow, and then I'd forget about it. This album is if you listen to this a couple of times, it becomes ingrained in your mind. It's an amazing album for that, and it's very iconic that everybody knows the album Led Zeppelin 3. And then you got, I actually really don't know how to pronounce this. I'm actually struggling reading it now. Bronny Hour's Stomp. I don't know what that means. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who came up with it. Whoever did just wanted to make the reader struggle. Whoever was reading the track list, you'd be going, you'd be looking at it funny. It's a weird kind of title, but very fast guitar at the start, which just shows, again, I have to compliment Jimmy Page on his guitar skills. He was very fast at the start. I believe it's Jimmy Page anyway, and then which then slowly transitions into chords. And I love that. To slowly transition from very fast guitar, which is quite hard, to then chords. That, again, you need to practice a lot to understand chords. That is so, impressive to see that in a guitarist, that they're able to transition from that guitar skill to another guitar skill that some guitarists will never get the hang of and are only touching what they can do. Jimmy Page has had loads of potential and he very much met it. And I really like that. That's something that I really like about a guitarist. If a guitarist is holding himself back or herself, they're not great guitarists. if somebody like Jimmy Page is going out there playing brilliant guitar, impressing loads of people, having hit albums everywhere, such as Mothership, Led Zeppelin 3, Led Zeppelin 2, 1, all of them, that just proves they are a brilliant guitarist. And that whole song, I was going, wow, that is amazing guitar. And he kept going throughout the whole song. Some people can be brilliant at the start and then just go back to normal kind of slow chords. He kept going, he kept giving it all, and that's just pure perseverance right there. And that is so, so impressive. And really, if I was to see him now, I'd go, wow, Ronnie R. Stomp, you were amazing in that. He'd probably correct me on my pronunciation of that song, but that's that song done, thankfully. And now, the final song. As you can tell, I've been nearly 16 minutes talking now about this album. You'd expect this song, to be amazing. It's actually not that great, to be honest. The start is really weird, and it's got this glitched sound to it. No, I didn't scratch my record and not notice. It's actually just weird. And I didn't particularly like that. There was these weird vocal swells. It was quite nearly, if you were to use that for ambient purposes, it would be very good. But to use it for a rock band on an album that's really iconic and definitely doesn't need that, it doesn't make sense. It's not so great of a finish, but the rest of the album makes up for it so much. The songs actually, I didn't even say the song, trying to get through it. It's Hats Off to Roy Harper. Roy is actually in brackets. I don't know the reason why, and I don't know really who came up with the idea of this song, but whoever did made a serious mistake. Now, other notes. I've got here that my favourite songs are Immigrant Song, Friends, Tangerine, and Since I've Been Loving You. All of the other songs were runner-ups. A lot of songs that I listen to, I go, I have loads of favourites, the rest were all right. But these were all runner-ups. These were all amazing songs. And my favourite side on this album, by far, was side A. Thank you so much for listening to my album review, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to me non-stop talking for 17 minutes about an album you probably already know. I'll see you guys. Bye! I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Logan Sounds Off. You can follow me on X, Facebook and Instagram at Logan Sounds Off. And don't forget to subscribe and not miss any more cool episodes. Bye guys!